everybody, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I wanted to share with you 3 of my favorite breakfast recipes right now. And this first one comes from Lisa Jane. I will link her recipe in the description box down below. But this first one is called Mocha Overnight Oats. And what I've started with here is 2 cups of rolled oats. I've got 8 teaspoons of chia seeds. Right there, what I'm doing now is putting 8 teaspoons of brown sugar. I know that sounds like a lot, but we are going to divide it into 4 mason jars. Then we're going to do 4 teaspoons of instant coffee powder, 4 teaspoons of cocoa powder, and 4 tablespoons of almond butter. Now, I don't have almond butter, so I just substituted it for the PB2 powder, and I did a 1/4 cup of that. Then we're going to do 3 cups of unsweetened almond milk or soy milk if that's what you have. So then you're going to go ahead and give it a really good stir. And then, like I said, this is going to be divided into 4 different portions. So each of these portions is roughly about 260 calories. The oats that I'm using, I chose to use oats that had like the least amount of calories, and it was like Mom's Best. I think it was that brand there. And it also depends on if you're going to use the PB2 powder like I use. That also changes it a bit versus whether you are going to use like the almond butter. The recipe I'm going to link down below is a little bit different. That recipe says it's about 400 calories, but I just, I changed the ingredients up a little bit. But here I am making a terrible mess, trying to get it into my 4 mason jars using my ladle. And even though I know I have got a funnel somewhere, I just don't know where the heck it is. So I'm just going to go ahead, make a mess, clean up after myself, and then as soon as you're done cleaning up, just go ahead and stick these in the refrigerator, and then you will have breakfast ready for you the next morning. And these were really good, y'all. I definitely would make these again. And here I'm just showing you what this looks like the next day. And if you want to, you could do some like chocolate shavings on the top, whatever you want. It is delicious. For this next recipe, you want to get out your kitchen scale again and a big bowl. We are making some protein French toast, and I've got about 5 eggs here, and you only want to use the egg whites. Now, if you have a carton of egg whites, that's fine. You want to measure out about 180 grams of egg whites, but I've got my own chickens, and I've got a ton of eggs to get through. So I am scooping out the egg yolks because they have the most calories, and we don't want that. So after I get that in my bowl, you want to go ahead and add in your protein powder. However much you want to add in there is up to you. I ended up using the serving size, which is 39 grams, about 2 scoops. Might have been a little bit too much, but that's okay. I have regular vanilla protein powder. I've used chocolate. I've used cinnamon toast flavor. Pick whatever flavor you want. It's fine. Then I add in some vanilla extract and some cinnamon, and then you just want to whisk until well blended. Next, we're going to go ahead and add in our bread, and I'm using the Sara Lee Delightful bread because it's only 45 calories, and you want to go ahead, throw your bread in there and soak up all that goodness and just let it sit there. Now, I ended up actually being able to do 5 pieces of bread, and I'm not eating all 5, just so you know. Get your pan really nice and hot, and then I already sprayed it with some nonstick cooking spray and then laid 2 pieces down, 2 minutes on either side, and then you want to go ahead, flip her over, and then 2 minutes again. So I got this recipe from Greg Doucette. He's another YouTuber. He's like ex-bodybuilder, very into low calorie, high protein kind of stuff. And in his words, he says to use regular ass bread. His words, not mine. But I'm also trying to go with low calories, which is why I chose this bread to use. It still tastes good, but it does taste better if you do use regular bread. But anyway, moving on, I am topping it off with some mixed berries, and all I have here is frozen berries, and it is literally the last of it, which is not very much. But I stick it in the microwave for about 30 seconds, and I kind of mush up some of the berries a little bit, top the French toast. Now, I do have 3 pieces here. I could not eat all 3, y'all. This was just so filling. And I'm showing you the PB2 powder here because sometimes what I like to do is just mix that with a little bit of water and then just drizzle it over top of the French toast, kind of like a syrup. That tastes really good too. But I do have some sugar-free syrup that I like to top it off with. Y'all, this was so good and so filling. And as you can see, I'm just showing you, I could not eat all of it. And I was able to cook up 5 pieces, but I had 2 left over. So I use that for another day. This is the last breakfast that I'm sharing with you. Again, with the kitchen scale and some egg whites. I am just doing up 3. I thought I had 4 egg whites in this one. But this is a recipe that I'm just kind of stuck on. I am just cooking up some egg whites. I add in some salt, some pepper, and some red pepper flakes. And then I just get into a hot skillet with some nonstick cooking spray, pour our egg mixture in there, and then I like to add in some chopped spinach. I do not like big pieces of spinach. If I'm going to have cooked spinach, it's got to be cut up really small. And yes, I use my kitchen shears for that because it's easy. Scramble it up, and then I throw in some cherry tomatoes that I cut in half, and then just cook it until the egg is no longer raw and runny. And I walked away for a little too long and overcooked my eggs, but I add in about an ounce. I did measure out 1 ounce of feta cheese, and then I just let that sit until the cheese just kind of melts a little bit. This is some really great flavor, and what inspired this was a spinach dip that I make. And y'all, it is so good. I've even done this with like cream cheese before if you like that sort of thing, but we're trying to go with low calorie and high protein. So I just toasted up a piece of bread, and yes, I am measuring out my butter. I just did 1 teaspoon. That is a half teaspoon that I'm using there. So gotta measure everything out, y'all. And this turned out so good. Thank you so much for being here. And if you enjoyed this video, I sure hope that you did. Please give it a big thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will share with somebody you love, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.